Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit. Yes, we made it 500,000 subscribers. 500,000! Not a bad little number, as far as I'm concerned. Pretty damn awesome. Gotta thank you guys for that. That's a big, huge, massive, awesome milestone. Not really one for milestones and particular numbers, but I like this number. This is a good number. This is the kind of number that you can wave around and say, haha, I have this number, and you do not. It's a good number. So thank you to each and every one of you for continuing to be subscribed to this channel, and of course the StarCraft channel, which I believe has just hit 50k subs as well. Not too shabby at all. Happy about that. So I'd also like to give some thank yous to the people that continue to work behind the scenes for Cynical Brit and make all of this possible, and I think that they need and deserve that recognition, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be doing to celebrate 500,000 subscribers. First thank you has got to go to my agent and of course my wife Jenna. She's been doing a lot of work in terms of organizing various events. She works quite a lot on the StarCraft side of things, but she also organizes my life, because God knows I couldn't do it myself, and of course has even done a couple of videos for this channel and does a lot of the stuff on the YouTube channel as well. For instance, if you see things lacking tags or with the wrong name, often the person that ends up fixing them is her as opposed to me, because I've probably forgotten. So thank you very much indeed. All right, the second thank you is going to go to Frank. He's our PR manager, our cameraman. He deals with all the publisher and developer relations, so all of the exclusive stuff you see, like, for instance, that Orcs Must Die video that came out a week before release, that was him. A lot of the stuff that we get at the Eurogamer Expo and Gamescom, that was him, so he's pretty much responsible for Guild Wars 2, the Old Republic, all of the other really cool stuff. That's him. He gets those copies for us, so he does a great job. Thank you very much to Frank. And a big thank you, and of course, congratulations to Zook, who now has YouTube partnerships, so he is able to try and turn this into his full-time career as well. And of course, we featured his videos an awful lot on this channel, and the reason we did that is that Zook is our graphics designer. He's the guy responsible for all of those awesome thumbnails. He's the guy responsible for pretty much any art asset that isn't drawn in MS Paint. He's responsible for the way this channel looks as well, so he is goddamn awesome in that regard. So thank you to Zook, and congratulations on getting partnership, and you guys should go and check him out. He does a bunch of speed drawings. He's currently about to hit 19,000 subscribers. That's pretty damn good. I think his recent drawing was the Hulk, and he's also been doing a little bit of Let's Play as well with Limbo and all sorts of good stuff like that. Go and have a look at him. And also I'd like to give a shout out and thank you to Alris, who is our researcher. He deals with all the mail, and he also does an awful lot of research and stuff for topics that I need. So thank you very much to him. He makes the mailbox possible. All right. So Game Station's been doing pretty damn well, as far as I'm concerned. The guys in the Game Station are all celebrating a lot of milestones. Husky passed 500,000 subscribers a little while ago. We just had the Yogscast hit 1 million, which is amazing. Oh, man. I remember when the Yogscast had about 20,000 subs back in Cataclysm Beta, and doing that whole Dead Minds thing with them was a huge deal. I'm glad that they found their own niche, and of course they are now the dominating force in the Minecraft community. Scary, scary force. Very cool indeed. So I'm glad that they've managed to get to that point. They definitely deserve that. We've also got Jesse Cox about to hit 200,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed to Jesse, who does the stuff with Terraria with me, then you may want to go and do so. Go over to OMFG Kata. Alright, so that's that out of the way. What are we doing to celebrate 500,000 subs, aside from our usual stuff? Well, we're going to be doing something called the WTF-a-Thon, and this is going to be a 12-hour live stream event. So this is going to be happening on Sunday, the 30th of October. Seems to make sense to put it on a weekend, otherwise a lot of you guys can't watch it. So this is going to start at 2 p.m. BST. That's 3 p.m. Central European Summertime. That would also be 9 a.m. on the east coast of the US, or 6 p.m. on the Pacific coast, the west coast of the US. And if you're in any other time zone, I'm sure you can figure it out from there. This will all be archived, so if you miss any of it, it's all going to end up on the channel in one form or another. And the point of the WTF-a-Thon is to... WTF is as many games as possible within 12 hours. Now, if I took 15 minutes for each, then of course I could do 48 games, but I don't think that's all that likely because of the time it usually takes to swap over to a different game, get all the settings right to make sure you guys don't get deafened and things like that. I do have a setup which should make things a little bit easier, but it's going to be tricky. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be really, really fun indeed. So if you want to come and watch that, you can do it on the date and time that I just gave you. And if you miss it, then don't worry, the archives will appear on the channel. That should be a good way, I think, to celebrate 500,000 subscribers. I'm looking forward to it, playing loads and loads of games, and of course celebrating the fact that this is a variety channel. Indeed, we went and counted how many games we've covered over the past year or so. 203, folks. 203 games that we've actually shown footage of, and more besides that we've talked about in the mailbox. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to be a variety gaming channel, that's the kind of thing you've got to do, and that's the reason we continue to be the UK's #1 variety gaming channel. Arguably the biggest variety gaming channel in the world, unless you count Machinima. I can't really think of any other channel with this kind of variety that has this many subs, so it's cool. I think that gaming is just such a vast medium that it makes sense to play an awful lot of them, and if that means that you're not great at every game you play simply because you don't have the time to practice, then so be it, because variety is the spice of life, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense to fixate on 1 or 2 games because you miss out on so many amazing things that are happening within this medium. It's a great time for gaming, it really, really is. The medium is advancing itself in leaps and bounds, and while there are a lot of things that I don't like about it, you can't really argue that gaming is going away. No, it's getting much, much bigger. It's finally getting this mainstream acceptance that a lot of us have been striving for so long. It is part of a lot of people's normal daily routine. That's good. That's what we wanted, surely. So I'm really happy about that, and I think this channel represents the sheer variety of gaming that is available. We'll hopefully be trying to spread that variety a little bit more in future. A lot of people have asked for console game footage outside of Expos. It is a possibility. I think the risk really being for me is that I take this one area that I kind of like to chill out and relax in, that isn't work, and then also turn it into my job. And then what do? I suppose I just play iPad games or whatever. I also consider doing coverage of iPad games and of board games as well. Now that we've got that really great camera, I actually have a fairly substantial board game collection. It would be kind of neat to do board game footage, I suppose, as ridiculous as that sounds. The idea of showing you what a board game is, what it contains, how to play it. That's cool. Once again, gaming takes many, many forms. That's something I may dabble in at some point. Aside from that, what are we doing over the next few weeks and months? Lots of stuff. Lots and lots and lots of things are getting covered. There's a lot of games on their way out. We are approaching November, which is, of course, the crazy time when everything happens in gaming. Coverage of the 2 major MMOs. One is going into closed beta before the end of the year. That's Guild Wars 2. And the other one is, of course, coming out at the end of the year, which is Star Wars The Old Republic. The beta for that, the NDA is absolutely 110% tight. Can't do anything with that. But I'll certainly be playing it. There's no real doubt about that. While it is very, very wowish, I think the story can carry it, honestly. And I'm going to see if that actually works out the way that I hope that it does, in that you could just play the game as a single-player game, treat it as a KOTOR title, and it would feel like a KOTOR title. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off. I have played quite a bit of it. I liked what I played, for the most part. There were elements of it that I certainly didn't like. How similar it was to World of Warcraft, for instance, is blatantly and painfully obvious in many areas. But the story may carry me through it, as it has with many other BioWare titles. That said, BioWare is not infallible, as we've seen with Dragon Age 2, so got to be a little bit careful with that. We'll see, we'll see. I think I'll be covering that, and of course Guild Wars 2 will be there on the ground floor. No real doubt about that. I've already had words with people at ArenaNet about coverage, and they seem more than happy to get involved. Those guys are pretty awesome like that, folks. ArenaNet are the real deal. So, good stuff. We're covering that. Games coming out in the next few days or already released that will be covered. We're looking at Nuclear Dawn. We're looking at Heroes of Might and Magic 6, which is just out today. I was maybe going to dabble in Disciples 3 Resurrection. I don't know. It's one of those games that may take an awful lot of play to really get any reasonable impression of. I know that the last one, Renaissance, was awful. So that's something to consider. Orcs Must Die, we've already covered. We covered that a week ago, but we will be looking at Dungeon Defenders, which some people have said is fairly similar in certain areas. I would agree. We're looking at that one. Hopefully get you some footage before release on that. I don't have anything completely confirmed as of yet, but I think we should be able to pull something off. Renegade Ops, that one is actually out on the 14th. It's already been out on PlayStation for a month, but that is a really, really nice twin-stick shooter. Definitely looking forward to playing that one on PC. Payday the Heist, that's coming up. We'll be looking into that. Alien Zombie Megadeth, that's coming out quite soon. Dead Rising Off the Record. Love Dead Rising so very much. I don't like what Capcom's doing with it, or their business practices of late, but I have a deep, deep love for Dead Rising as a game, so I'm hoping that Off the Record will actually live up to that. I do have that, and I need to dabble in it a little bit before I give you any video coverage of it so that I can figure out what the differences are between that and Dead Rising 2. Loads of other games coming out. Of course, November is where it gets crazy. So much stuff. We'll cover as much as we can. Hopefully plenty of indies as well as plenty of mainstream titles. But whatever the case, thank you very much, guys. You have, as always, been an amazing audience. Couldn't do this without you guys and your continued support. So thank you very much, and I hope that you continue to watch our footage. And of course, the naysayers that said this channel would die after Cataclysm Beta, nah. I'll see you next time.